Toronto. And one of the things that the organization would like to do is to support the creation of a Copwatch programs. I'm a lawyer, and there's another lawyer that's part of the group, and so we're happy to give legal advice, I guess, within Canada.
Anybody who's from Toronto, raise your hand.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're in a lot of trouble in Toronto.
Yeah, but you got a lot of resources right here, man. That's, I mean, I hope y'all have like a little breakout, like a little Toronto. I'm serious. Like after this is over, maybe y'all should have lunch together or something. But if you don't already all know each other, it sure would seem like a missed opportunity if you didn't all sit in a circle and figure out how to, you know. But anyway, I'm sorry.
Sorry, could I just get the name of the organization?
The Center for Police Accountability.
CPAC.
C4PA, it's also on.
And it's not TPAC.
No.
I'm with TPAC.
I have some cards, and I'll leave them at the front or something.
Toronto in a nutshell, there are lots of different groups.
And there you go. That's interesting. That's interesting. Go ahead.
My name's Chris. I'm also from Toronto. I'm also a member of the Center for Police Accountability. And I guess I'm here. I just want to, we come from Toronto. It's one of, if not the most diverse cities in the world. So I'm really just hoping to hear stories about people who are engaging in the work and how it's played out in different scenarios, different neighborhoods, different demographics.
Okay.
I'm Steve from Winnipeg, soon to be going to, I guess, Toronto area. So, yeah, I don't know much about Copwatch, actually. I just decided to come and find out. So, I'm a counselor, and I've worked with a lot of youth, and I've increasingly just heard more and more stories of just things that sound fishy. And over time, I think I've just realized that there's a real need to take a look at that. And that's all I really know right now. I'm just trying to figure out how to put the pieces together, maybe advocate somehow. Be part of that. So.
Good.
I'm Jillian. I'm also moving to the Toronto area. And I just wanted to learn too and just see what's going on. I've been a member of different organizations, and we do a lot of work with helping people in certain situations, and I think Copwatch would be very beneficial, especially when you're talking about how Winnipeg's very ghettoized. Coming here from outside of, and the more I learn about Winnipeg, what's happening, I definitely see just how crazy that is. That's one way.
Good. Thank you. Okay.
Oh, hi. I'm Nora. I'm presenting here today as Jane Doe also, so I appreciate it. You can, just the name part, that's all. So I've been organizing around policing for 20 years in Toronto. I don't know any of you. I don't know your group. And that's the problem, and that's what I'm really hoping to address. We also have, we're in dire situation. Toronto is a mini police state. That's what's going on, and you only have to look at the G20 and what took place last year to understand how bad it is. What happened at the G20 happens all the time in Toronto. We've got horses coming into peaceful demonstrations and running women down, and it's dire. Our police department has the largest budget line of any municipal program in Canada. Like, it's huge, it's just massive, massive, continues to grow. We're in a lot of trouble. My experience and what I hope to talk about, and people already are, is our lack of allying that is going on in Toronto, and our failure to document, inability to document. So we've been resisting, I know Anna and myself, for 20 years, and specifically in the women's communities. I see a lot of a lack of gender analysis in other groups, as well as race analysis, and absolutely issues of colonization and Aboriginal people. We never seem to get it all happening, you know, at once. We're here, over here, over here. We don't share resources. We don't ally. Some of us don't like each other. We don't hear what each other has said, personally, politically, or we've had, sexual relationships and we don't like it anymore. So that's kind of, that's what's going on. And meanwhile, the police are growing. The problems are massive. Yes, they're massive, massive. So I'm hoping that breakout idea for Toronto, I love that.
Cool.
Thank you.
Could I ask a question?
Yep.
I used to live in Toronto, which informs my being here in Winnipeg. the situation gotten worse, say, in the last 10, 15 years in terms of police?
We're a police state.
Always.
It's a mini police state.
It's like it's an industry. I'm still of the mind that this is an industry, is the problem, and
Of course
it's
it's
become more of an
absolutely.
industry. Yeah.
We're a police state in Toronto, and we don't know it.
Yeah. I heard
Some
that.
of us know it.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So my name's Anna Willits, and I came, I think, today because I heard a couple of other women from Toronto were coming, and I thought, oh, okay, so this is an opportunity to talk, so that's great. I hope we do kind of talk more as a group, that would be great. And as Nora says, I've been working on issues of police accountability and police brutality and all sorts of things for many, many years from all different angles. Right now I'm in a group called the Toronto Police Accountability Coalition, which has been going for about 10 years. I've been part of other groups that have lasted a month, and I've been part of other groups that have lasted about 5 years, mostly in response to, so there's that piece where we're always in response instead of being able to build up something that is what we want and has our vision, so there's that. And my background's in crisis response, so I think it's easy to fall into that very easily, and it takes up a lot of energy and time and is very necessary, so I'm not sure about that. The divide Christian talked about in terms of the hidden nature of policing in Toronto, for sure, so evident. So the thing that strikes me is you can get all the evidence you want, but if the people commenting have very different ways of seeing that evidence, in other words, some people think this is evidence of police brutality, and other people, many, many other people think that this is evidence of police doing, how difficult it is to do the job of policing. So they blame the victims. So I'm interested in that, because I think evidence that just gets turned against you is not that useful. And I'm also very aware, as you noted, that as a white middle-class woman, when I intervene, I know our police, they'll get the person later. So if they don't get the person now, they'll get them later, right? The police service is very good at keeping, you know, I'll talk to your brother, I'll talk to your sister, I've had that happen to me, and otherwise I'm very protected from police violence. So I'm wondering about that piece of it as well. You think it's a big city, they won't follow up, but in fact they do, right? Our neighborhoods are small even though our city is big. And so yeah, so I'm interested in all of those questions, but really glad all these people from Toronto are here.
Yeah.
And everybody else too.
And
Especially Edmonton.
And looking forward to learning lessons from everybody else. Let's hear.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I'm Charmaine from Toronto. And I work in North York. And so my organization works closely with the Jane Finch community, where there's a lot of police brutality and racial profiling. And I actually was in a Copwatch 10 years ago in Victoria, but it was actually a very negative experience. So I'm not sure about the politics of Copwatch. I have to hear more about different models. The reason why was just kind of what I think someone's talking about, just being from outside of communities and kind of swooping in, and not sort of being critical of like when we call ourselves allies, not thinking about privilege, and kind of having this savior mentality. Another issue that came up was kind of like a bit of a vigilante feeling with some of the people I was organizing with, where kind of when Copwatch ended in Victoria was when a conflict happened with police arresting a man around, I guess, domestic violence. And so the Copwatch people were trying to intervene, and the woman came out really pissed off, and kind of a huge fight happened. And anyway, there's a lot of issues there, and it was really and then it just broke a lot of trust, especially with thinking about violence against women and things like that. Not that we look to police to protect them or anything, but it was just really handled badly in terms of some of the agreements we made about just observing. And then another question I had also was, after we collect evidence, I'm more interested in like thinking about different models of community organizing rather than like how to navigate the legal system. I feel like it's a lot of just doing legal defense for G20, for example. It's amazing like how much of my energy has gone into the legal defense part of trying to hold police accountable when it's a losing battle. And I'm wondering what other forms of accountability there are. I know there's another session on that, but I'm actually really not wanting to spend more energy on a court system that's not on our side, right? But I feel like a lot of activists try and use it to get justice, and it has really bled, I feel, in Toronto, like hundreds of thousands of dollars, as well as like a lot of energy and pain. So I'm wondering what other ways we can hold police accountable instead of the courts.